this message is just for you. You are good enough. This is the episode for you. If your language learning is starting to feel a bit cluttered and you feel like you're surrounded by half-started activities, I made this episode just for you. Now, if you are learning a really popular language, the variety of resources out there, the courses, the apps, the challenges, it's amazing, but it's also dizzying. And even if you're working on a less commonly studied language, okay, you might not have the same professionally made, learner-oriented resources available to you, but that doesn't necessarily cut out the possibilities or the sheer quantity of native materials out there. And if we're not careful, we end up getting scattered with what we're doing, because we're doing a little bit of everything, but it's all leaving us feeling a bit flat and a bit lost. And everything looks like a good idea, everything seems worthy of our time. But when that scattered approach takes over, it stops feeling exciting and starts feeling chaotic and overwhelming. We have so much choice available that we barely finish starting anything, let alone see anything through. And it makes us feel busy and productive because we're doing masses of things. We've barely sat down for a rest. We can reel off a massive list of all our activities and our heads feel like they're made of cotton wool at the end of the day. But it's hard to see progress in any one of them. And then when we come down from the euphoria, it can be really easy to start thinking that nothing is working, or that we're some kind of linguistic lost cause. But the issue here isn't with our linguistic ability. It's that, in the words of James Clear, if we haven't committed to anything, we're distracted by everything. It's kind of like running through a library and reading the first page of every book we see before we get distracted by the one next to it. And thinking, maybe I should be reading that one instead, maybe that's the one that's going to change my life. We need certain things to commit to. And that means we also need some other things to be outside of those in order to be contained. And we need closure on the things that we know we don't want to carry on with, the things that we know don't suit us, so that we can take them off our literal or figurative desktop. In short, we need mental, physical, and digital space to breathe. And sometimes that involves us walking away from things. And not just when they are the worst thing ever, but also just when they're not that great or we don't feel particularly motivated to go back to them. And this is not an attack on your ability to finish the things you start. This isn't you getting distracted by the next new and shiny thing and then passively putting this thing down and forgetting about it. This is you actively seeing that something isn't working for you and deciding to let it go. This is you declaring that you are now free of it. So today I'd like to invite you to join me on 2 challenges. Number 1, choose one thing. Maybe one half-read book in your new language, maybe one course that you've started and then it fizzled out, maybe a project that's sitting half done, just something that you always meant to go back to, something that you wanted to go back to but have never quite got round to it. And then when you're making your plans for this week or next week, no matter how small, just see if you can dedicate a bit of time to that thing. Get that ball rolling again. Because it was something that you were really excited about. It was something that you really wanted to do. And number 2, while you're searching for that one thing to commit to, If you find some things that you always told yourself you should go back to, but you really don't want to, cross them off the list. Definitively, let them go. Claim the headspace back. And if you find some treasures that you'd forgotten all about, or you'd like some extra accountability to bring that old project back, let me know in the comments below and I'll make sure to send you some encouragement. Have a wonderful day and I will see you tomorrow.